have in front of you. Sefer Devorah&Rav Tzadok. If you start where it says page 52, make sure you're on the right side of the page. This is a good, on the one hand, a review, and on the other hand, an in-depth understanding of what we've been learning in terms of Devorah. To make it brief, we're talking about Kedushas HaAchila. So Kedushas HaAchila, Nishkim Poshet Azach. You know, some people daven, they don't daven. They have to learn how to daven the Kedusha. Everybody eats. So it's eating. Eating is a very very important part of life, and it has a whole part of Kedusha to it. So it's Kedai. I think the older you get, so the more you have to pay attention to what you eat and think about, should I eat this, should I eat that, do I need it, do I not need it? Like, all of a sudden, like, not just mashaba, you know. I mean, unless you want to die. It's so there's a whole ruchnius part of it too. You know, if you want to live olam haba and olam hazeh fully, a whole ruchnius part too. So v'zehu, you see where it says v'zehu?
Mm-hmm.
The introduction is this word. Let me just say this: that there's I don't know if he knows how to get it. There's a gvul ein gvul. So generally speaking, Shamayim is bli gvul. Olam hamas is no boundaries. I mentioned a few weeks ago that when a person sleeps, so if you have a dream, your dream can be completely, 50 years could go by in 10 seconds and 20 seconds. Things can be out of order. Things could be. The shot in a dream is that there's no boundaries because you're echad mishishim imes. Since you're shtickle dead, it means being a little bit dead means you're a little bit in olam haba type of world. Olam haba world, there's no difference. There's no before. There's no after. There's no order. There's no young. There's no old. There's no. You could be having lunch with somebody from 7 generations ago. So it's a bit of a olam haba. That's 1/60th. So you can just imagine. I'm not sure if it's billable or clarity when you're going to come to Shemayim, and all of a sudden everything, not just your whole life, but all the generations that were before you and all the generations that come after you, there's no Zman. There's no Zman. So this is a geder of bli gvul. Ruchnius is bli gvul. That's Gashmius, olam hazeh, is with a gvul. So what happens when you take the Shechina and you place it into this world? You have a matzav of bli gvul b'toich hagvul. Meaning, there were many aspects of the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash that were benes. Didn't take up the room they're supposed to take. The Gemara says, how could this and this and this fit in? How could it be? The answer is benes. Same thing as the luchos. They were all benes. There were no gevulim. Usually a gevul is that goes this way, doesn't go that way. Gravity. Those are all gevulim. A tzaddik, in a certain sense, can live part of his life, or some of his life, or maybe all of his life, without a gevul. Don't necessarily have to be meshubed to the gevulim of olam hazeh. You're supposed to be somewhat meshubed because we live here. This is where we live. I think the Kutzker Rebbe said before, a couple of years before he died, he said that he's really at a madrega that he doesn't have to eat anymore. But I'll tell you first, like you can't. So, I mean, you're self-close up. You're living in olam hazeh. Here we're talking about a different madrega than that Kutzker. We're talking about eating, but the eating itself. I don't mean eating bli gvul. That you don't stop eating. But in other words, there could be a spiritual bli gvul element into the food. So when we're talking about what the Talmud Torah says of kosher hashchina ba'achilosai, we're talking about taking something which is a pickle and injecting it with the Shechina So what's your result? To some extent, a person is this situation. A person is a guf with a neshama. If the neshama is completely activated, there's a bli gvul aspect to our lives. There can be. There could be a sort of a clairvoyance or understanding things which are not scientific. The scientific world wants everything to be able to be seen, but which is true. What you see is what you see. Nobody could argue with what you see. Seeing is believing, but seeing is not believing. Seeing is seeing. Believing is believable. Seeing is believing is not true. That's I'll only believe what I see. Then you don't believe. Mm-hmm. Believing is then you're from the Yevonim. The Ness of Hanukkah. Take a look at this. The Ness of Hanukkah, in its most simple fundamental level, is that something which has a gvul, oil burns for X amount of days, burned for longer. So what they were able to demonstrate, the Chashmonaim were able to demonstrate, is that there's a bli gvul even where there's a gvul. So that's the pshat in kosher es Shechina l'Shechinasai. You with me? It's an important. Mm-hmm. What's the tachlis here? What's the practical part of it?
Why is it called l'Shechinasai? Kosher es Shechina
Achilasai.
Oh, l'Achilasai.
So can I ask also just maybe a technical question? We're talking about we make a bracha on the apples. Let's say you're making risotto, apple on one type of food, but then you carry on eating other kinds of foods, but they have the same bracha. You don't need to make a bracha on those foods. So are they still?
It's tuffle. The pshat in tuffle is that this becomes a subservient to the main achila. Like let's say you make a motzi lechem in aretz. So now somehow by motzi lechem in aretz, I'm not just being motzi, but I'm including the whole achila of kind of a bracha. Now remember that the Gemara said that la Hashem aretz umloya. I'm sorry, aretz nasan livnei adam acher bracha. Aretz nasan livnei adam acher bracha. So what does that mean? We're saying that somehow or another the bracha. We've been struggling with this. What does the bracha accomplish? You make a bracha on something, bar grades. It accomplishes this bringing out of the neshama of that apple.
It's the key.
Yeah. Sure, I'm not sure. It's masher the Shechina. When you make a bracha, it's a very simple thing. You're making a statement, Baruch atah Hashem. So Hashem is noichach. Right in front of you. Okay, that's Shechina. You don't have to go any further than that. Baruch atah Hashem. Whoa. Shechina. The noichach of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, noichach pnei Hashem, so Shechina, so Chazal. So whenever you're talking, it's a pella that we're talking. We're not saying Baruch Hu, Baruch Shema, Hashem's out there. Even at the end of the bracha, we're not doing that. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam. He's already out there. But Baruch atah Hashem is a nochach. The nochach is the Shechina. So by making a bracha, by being Mekayim, and this is how I think the way to make all these gemaras that we learn sukkah and brachas makes sense, that by making ha'aretz nasan livnei adam, you're making Lashem ha'aretz umloya. Hagufa. Hagufa of making a bracha, it's ha'aretz nasan livnei adam. Why? Because Lashem ha'aretz umloya, you bring Hashem right into the apple. Not in a tzimtzum sort of a way where all of a sudden the apple becomes holy, but all of a sudden my life becomes holy through achila. So it says the Torah Devorah, kosher es ha kosher shechinasai, kosher shechina, ba'achilasai. Kosher shechina ba'achilasai. So let's learn. I'm going to go quickly because this is just understandable. When a person is konet Torah, meaning as opposed to studying Torah, when a person is konet Torah, the Torah becomes integrated. Nasis teirasei az rechava, your Torah becomes so wide
she'ein lo gvul, v'lakach hutra b'Shabbos kol tanugei haguf, v'adraba he mitzvah l'Shabbos oineg. Meaning that it seems to be that a spiritual person should be stay away from gashmias. That would be the like the goyim do, all the goyim, Christians, Buddhists, Hindus, everybody. What they do is the more ascetic you are, the more holy you are. Come Shabbos, it says v'karasa l'Shabbos oineg, have a little bit more cholent. Right? So what's get on your mountaintop and be celibate. Like, what are you doing with the cholent here? Like, fast. We have fasts also, but over here we see oineg Shabbos. Why? Because b'Shabbos l'kach hutra b'Shabbos kol tanugi hagufa adraba he mitzvah l'Shabbos oineg. Lama mitam ki oz, because on Shabbos has the pasuk tisanig al Hashem. Because it's not my oineg, it's your oineg. K'moy shekasav k'moy sheisa b'reish perakaitza mevarchim ar gemara lamed hey amud beis. Kan koydem bracha l'Hashem haaretz umloya, u'la'acher bracha haaretz nasan livnei adam. So by bringing godliness into my food, so what's happening is I'm creating l'Hashem haaretz umloya because I've done my responsibility of haaretz nasan livnei adam. Ki ha'bracha hi hakara. What is a bracha? What is a bracha? HaBracha hi hakara she'Hashem noichach ponav. I'm standing in front of Hashem. His face is open to me. Nochach means right in front of me. First person. First person, right? Or second person? I'm first person. The second person. Lakach haschalosai habracha b'lashon noichach. That's why the bracha starts Baruch Atah Hashem. Eloshenu adayin kavua b'leiv, but it doesn't really. We're regular people. Have we become completely spiritual? Does Hashem stay in front of us all day? L'kach seifa b'lashon nister. It goes, but it's okay that it goes. Shemiyad nister ki eino adayin ki yoseg loy tamut. It's not like a peg which cannot be budged. A spike. A yated is a spike like that you put in a tent. This is unbudgeable. Lakach nesru tanoge mostros b'maimer kedoshim tiye ayin Ramban sham. That's why the Ramban in Parshas Kedoshim tells us that kedoshim tiyu means you should stay away from extra things. Why? Because are we really kedoshim tiyu? Stay away from it because are we really holding where the noichach b'nei Hashem and everything that we're doing? But he explains. I'm sorry. B'Bammetzia, b'Pirushai, b'Bammetzia, Lamed Aleph, Lamed Aleph, Chachma ze Seder Kodshim. Shaz Adayin Tzarech Lemer Kedoshim u'Mugdarim b'Taivos Olam Hazeh. Shal Zeh Meir Kedoshim. Kedusha is, interestingly, you're actually not yet there by Kedusha. Kedusha is where I'm holding that I'm still having to, in order to be spiritual, Kedoshim to you. Spiritual shall you be. In order to be spiritual, I have to stay away a little bit from Gashmias. I'm not yet there. Moshe Kasavti Makam Acher Amay Merzal Brachas Yudam and Beis. Yish Kodesh Hu Mena Yada. How do we know when somebody's Kodesh? Avol Tara, there's a higher madrega of Tara. Look at the Mesos Yesharim, right? Tara, Shayach Af Bechulin Shenas Al Taras HaKodesh. Bezel Madregas Hadas. Okay, the parentheses is a piece of Kabbalah, as it always is in Rabbi Tzadok. But the what's for us is simple, and that is that you have Kedusha. Stay away from Gashmias because it's Gashmias Hamruchnis. Gvul. Tahara. What is Tahara? Oichel Chulin b'Tahara. Tahara is where there's a purification in the food itself. It's not Kodshim. It's Tahara. So Tahara, purity, is where even the Gashmias has a level of holiness. Tahara. I'm a person's tummy. You go into the mikveh, you become tahar. It's not like I'm getting rid of my body. I'm being retired. There's a higher madrega, which is called the madrega of das. Oh, madrega of das. Ba'ava hechrechi shalza oimer hayoisha b'tainis nikra kadosh. That's the pshat in kadosh. If you're fasting, you're a kadosh. Ma'asheikein oisa shiroya kadosh shari b'toich meyav. But if a person has kedusha b'toich meyav, ratzalaymar Hashem bekir b'chem, ratzalaymar bekerev hu b'ma'ayim kulay kedusha k'moshe nishbar lehel asur liyisanos. K'moshe kaso b'tainis sham v'zo madregas hadas. So again, if fasting is called a kadosh, and Shabbos is Shabbos kodesh, so why don't we fast on Shabbos? So the answer is that we're looking for something more. Kedusha is kid stuff. That's for amateurs. For the tzaddikim, it's taking the gashmias and sanctifying it. Which, by the way, just on a very simple level, the difference between Judaism and every other religion has always been that we take chol and we sanctify it. That's what Jews do. You know, like everybody's all nervous that before there was Hanukkah, there was the winter solstice, which was an Avodah Zarah holiday. So is it original with us? Why does it have to be original with us? We took something which people were doing and we said, let's do this Hashem. Why can't that be the pshat in the? Like, why do we have to friend for? Oh, we had the Avos kept Hanukkah also. We don't. You don't have to do that. The pshat is that everything has its chol, and then its chol becomes kaddish. In fact, but the Christians took it. The pagans were keeping the winter solstice, and they wanted them to not be over Avodah Zarah in that way, just be over there Avodah Zarah. So they turned it into Christmas. But with us before that, it was a zman of we could take. Here's a new thing that we could, a new energy you take for kedusha.
This the fast and Shabbos is for everybody, not just for the holy. No, I mean.
Right.
So where this should be, this is fast.
We could all be tzaddikim on Shabbos. That's the point here.
Even though we're not on the level, we can make that level on Shabbos itself.
On Shabbos we can. There's a special siyata d'shmaya of Shabbos where the karasel of Shabbos oineg is that Hashem. See, what does they call him? Misanig ala Shabbos zoichel and nachal abelim etzar. If you have oneg Shabbos, you can get nachal abelim etzar, boundaryless nachala. Makasher. Because I've broken the boundary. I've broken the boundary between Gashmias and Ruchnias by having Oneg Shabbos. That Sholent breaks the Kedusha, that breaks the boundary, and because of that, the Midah K'B'Nagid Midah is Zochel and Nachal B'li Mitzar. You got rid of all boundaries. No boundaries in my life any longer. Of course, there's boundaries of what I'm allowed to do, but in other words, I don't have to worry about Gashmias. I'm in a good place. The Gashmi is not going to be Mekalkel, on the contrary. On the contrary, it's going to pick me up. So this is the madrega that we reach for a second after we make a bracha. Mikol makim la'achar bracha shekibel al kol panim ol malchus shamayim. Minimally, when we make a bracha, Baruch atah Hashem, we're makabel ol malchus shamayim. What does that mean in real terms? I say, I'm a Jew, I'm committed. I'm a Jew, I'm committed. That's the quick machshava. This is a good tip. It doesn't have to be, you have to think of Esther spheres here. The quick machshava is Baruch atah Hashem. Unbelievable. I'm a committed Jew, you're God, I'm man, here's my child. It's a very beautiful triangle. It's obvious in anybody's mind that if you think for a second that you say, you recommit yourself every time you make a bracha. And here, Daika, a person's supposed to make Meya brachos b'chol yoim. That's 100 times. Kabul zal malchus shamayim. Also, Eretz nasan libnei adam lahanois. Now Hashem says, once you're makabel al malchus shamayim, have hana, go for it. Go for it. Sharei al kol panim yesh lay memshala al koiches gufay, because you've got some control al koiches gufay. Va'gufa bahami va'artzi, this that's only behema in me, artzi, hutachas yodai memshaltai, I'm in control, minimal. Ve'ino nena mikodshe shamayim. So says the Gemara that if you eat without a bracha, You're nana mikodshe shamayim, it's hektish, stay away from it. If we make a bracha, it's tahara, a stronger madrega. Even though you're not completely there, not to worry. Let's say a person would always be in a state of Alma Shamayim, everything, my body, my soul, my thinking, my ivarim, Hare klolai skufai, look where you can get to. Hare klolai skufai nasa merkava Hashem Shamayim. Your whole life is achar bracha, right? My klolai skufai, my whole life is a merkava. What's a merkava mean? I'm able to be a chariot or a vehicle for the Shechina. I am a vehicle for the Shechina in this world. Dugmas sha'amar b'reishis rabbah ha'avais hein hein merkava. What was the gedula of the Avos, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? Hein hein ha-merkava means that they became kelim for the Shechina. And what does that mean already? It means very simply that they were in a constant state of Ol Malchus Shamayim, in a constant state of knowing what they were here for, who created them, and what their purpose is in this world. So not so complicated. Not so complicated. It's something everybody could do at least a little bit when you make a bracha, and if you become a tzaddik, you can do it all the time.
Is that what the Kohanim are when they eat kachim?
Mishkan, let's go for it. I don't know. Mishkan o Beis HaMikdash. What's the Mishkan? What's the Beis HaMikdash? Kadshe Kadoshim. L'shchinasa yisbarach sheshari b'toichai. Sharei kol. They were just like the Avos are merkava, so too the Beis HaMikdash is a merkava. What is the Beis HaMikdash? You know, like where do you go when you go to the Beis HaMikdash? You're smelling barbecue and blood and hearing singing, going to the concert. It's just what a beautiful experience. It's the earth. It's the heaven meeting the earth. It's the Shechina being kosher in Gashmias. The whole Beis HaMikdash is Gashmias. Like by right, if you or I were designing it with no predetermined thoughts, you'd make it a place of emptiness, a void, or minimally nature. Go to the nature. But here we're saying everything is man-made, mamash. Sisa, everything is man-made. Every curtain, every piece of wool, every animal is shechted. Everything is maisa. Ha'aretz nasan livnei adam. To do what? To create Lashem Haaretz Umla. You're making a merkava. Yechezkel Hanavi said, by the way, you don't have a basement because you can do the same thing in a shul. You could that's his whole nevuah of the Maisa Merkava. The whole nevuah of the Maisa Merkava, which is so complicated, is not so complicated at all. All he's saying is, I don't mean to minimalize the Cheskel Hanavi's nevuah, but all the nevuah is saying basically is that here we are in Golus, so you think we have no place to put the Shechina any longer. The Shechina is no longer going to touch ground. Is that true? The Avos were a Merkava, the Beis HaMikdash is a Merkava, the Mishkan is a Merkava, you could be a Merkava, Tzaddik could be a Merkava, and Shuls could be a Merkava. Your Shuls will be Tivne Bet Bate Knasiyos, Bebavel. That's what he said. You'll do it there also. Will it be the same as in Yerushalayim with the Kodesh HaKadoshim? Of course not. But will we become like Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? Of course not. But who says that's our? We only have to ask ourselves, Masai Yagia Maisei. We have to yearn for that. But that's the. So he says, Mishkan Beis HaMikdash Kadshe Kadoshim L'Shchanasa Yisparach Sheshari B'Toichai Sharei Kol Machshavaisav U'Migmaisav. I love the sense. I keep reading it. He Kol Machshavaisav Migmaisav Shukaisav Ritzanaisav V'Koichaisav Bazeh. It's a good list to remember. We should make like a Rosh Tevis. Machshavaisav Migmaisav Shukaisav Ritzanaisav V'Koichaisav. So when we lose a tzaddik, what we're doing is we're having a chorban Beis HaMikdash. Why? Because just like the Beis HaMikdash is housing the Shechina in its gashmius, so too is this tzaddik doing. There's different models, by the way, of tzaddikim. There were ascetic tzaddikim, and there's tzaddikim that are bedaktik dafka to use everything in the world. which I'm not one or the other, but I from Shas, the mashmayis is that person's going to come to Olam Haba and say, why didn't you have enough from this food? Why didn't you go to this place and see that scenery? Why didn't you look at my Alps? They're nice. Nice. Why didn't you look at it? The idea of having hana? You see, this is a derech of gedolim. To have hana, but to have hana, what means to be kosher the Shechina, and you see even Eliyahu Hanavi and Elisha, the Shunamis, had to fill up kaisis. Eina bracha shari al kli reik. There has to be some gashmis. This is what the whole Hasidic Tish is about. So asceticism, it's a madrega of kedusha, but it's not yet, says Rabbi Tzadok, that madrega of tara. V'imkein hi my choloi. When a tzaddik eats, dugmas hakarbanos mamish makrivim b'beis Hashem. It's a carbon. He's quoting Shas here. Where is it? That's the pasuk. The shulchan shel adam hasholim b'zekem mizbeach. Your table is your altar. The halacha, you're not allowed to sit on the table. Your kitchen table. You're not allowed to put your kid on the table. You're not allowed to change a diaper on the table. In my more orthodox days, I would say you're not allowed to put a video machine on the table. This is a mizbeach. Why is it a mizbeach? This is the place where gashmis is turning into ruchnis. Ready? The kitchen table, the coffee. That's where the gashmis is turning into ruchnis. It doesn't even mean that you're okay. I'm going to drink this coffee, l'shem Shamayim, so I have energy. I don't think it goes that far even. Just noichach b'nei Hashem. I'm not. I don't have this gvul, this division between gashmis and ruchnius. I just have like a mushel from a very strange place. But I was just like, everybody's wife says at the Shabbos table, my wife should forgive me, she doesn't watch the videos, so it's okay. Shabbos table say Dvar Torah. Shabbos table sings mirrors. Right? It's common, why aren't you saying a Dvar Torah? It's amateur. It's good to say over my drush at the Shabbos table. It's a school of Arichas Yomim. But why do I say it's amateur? Like, the whole Shabbos table should be Divrei Torah. Your whole Shabbos table should be a niggin. There should be a rhythm and a beat to the whole Shabbos table experience. So you go to Gedolim for Shabbos, Shazachisi, it's had by Rav Scheinberg, it's had by Rav Moshe for Shabbos, others. It's not about, okay, Dvar Torah time, everybody listen. I'm not saying you have kids, that's a different story, but I'm saying that's, it's about, it never happens, Dvar Torah time, because what else are we doing? We're the whole thing is learning and talking, eating cholent and making a l'chaim. It's a whole irvuv of gashmias and ruchnias. The very fact that a person has to divide, okay, we're going to do this now, that. Now, the truth is, I'm not a big admirer of the Yekis b'chlal. Like, it's not my thing. It's also another derech of avodah. Just can't do it. But niggin time, Dvar Torah time, eat time, talk time, conversation time. We've got 3 minutes for conversation. Well, it's not the right thing. The idea is to be integrated. And when you're integrated, ironically, everything is ruchnius, and ironically, you're very normal. Everything is normal. You know what? If you're zocha to have a chiloni at your table, he'll love your Shabbos table. You're talking Torah the whole time, because it's integrated. It's normal. What it is it's a ruchnius experience. Instead of sitting in a bar, we're making kiddush. Instead of candlelight dinner, romantic dinner, we have Shabbos candles. It's a whole irvuv of gashias or ruchnius, which everybody is attracted to, like bees to honey. It's such a deep secret of kiruv, which I'm qualified to speak about. I have probably a couple thousand people at my Shabbos table, not for people, and I think this is the nakuda that just normal, but normal doesn't mean you talk about the football game the whole time. Normal means that there's an integration of Gashmius and Ruchnius. And that's what it doesn't see. Anybody can go to church, but to see it at a Shabbos table, that's a whole different idea. So it goes further. Zeh hashulchan asher lifnei Hashem d'shulchanei shel adam hasholim bazeh k'mizbeach hamamala groinam shel talmidei chachamim yayin k'makriv nesachim. You're mahana talmud chacham. You're bringing nesachim al gavei hamizbeach. The wine going his throat is why? Because you're putting gashmias on the ruchnias and ruchnias in the gashmias. That's the idea of sharing your nachlasa with the talmud chacham. Hamevi Dora on the Talmud Chacham, right? You bring Shalch Manas to a Talmud Chacham, Kilu Hikriv Bikurim, V'Hakol Kanal, the integration of Gashmias and Ruchnias. V'Gam Kishu Atzmi Mamalik Groine, even the Talmud Chacham himself is drinking wine. It's not just you're giving him, Kimakriv Korban L'Mizbeach Hashem. He's being makriv a korban with his throat and with his wine. Shehigia l'madrega zu b'chalolos halev mikol chemdas ha'olam. Coming to a madrega of chalolos halev, control. B'chol chemdas ha'olam harei ein lai shum shaychas al guf sherei av rega achedein machshavosei olav me'atzmai. He's not thinking about, wow, wine, I'm getting drunk. Umitiva shekfar hafach libay liyas gufa k'may zarnei chashav lai. He's like, this is my goof. And I'm being kosher to Shechina. I'm taking my goof. I'm feeding my goof. You're putting gas in the car. It's so gishmak. Like we learned about Hillel. Remember we learned about Hillel? Hillel was walking away from a shir, and he says, I have to go take care of my chsanya. I have to go take care of my chsanya. I have to take a shower. I have to eat breakfast. The Talmud was like, Rebbe, you're not allowed to eat. You're not supposed to take a shower. No, this is the goof that's housing my neshama. It has to be nice. It's third person. Just like another person has to be Bahana Talmud Chacham, Talmud Chacham has to be Bahana himself. The beauty of Rabbi Tzadok, by the way, is that everything's a Gemara. Everything is a Gemara. Neshama shenasati b'cha hechye gam binyanei haguf. The neshama integrates with the goof. That's what the Gemara says before. Mikol shekain shegufay dugmas mizbeach doime la'achar shemamala groinei shel talmud chacham. Here's the medrash right here. Hillel shahoylech laseis mitzvah ligmal chesed im hahud hada alufta. The poor body, if it's void of Shechina, is alufta. It's nebuch. It's a nebuch. It's a body, it's just a nebuch. But if you feed it and you take care of it and you put neshama on neshama shenasata bi, so then tahiri. That's what the Gemara says. By Hillel. Hillel was such a tzaddik. By the way, Hillel was a big tzaddik. I mean, Chiddush, everybody in the Gemara is a tzaddik. But Hillel, when he died, they said, Hai chassid, hai onev, hai tzaddik. He was a miyuchad tzaddik. Hillel, later Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. These were miyuchad tzaddikim in Shas. They're all tzaddikim. But miyuchad. It's important to know. The Gemara says this. When he died, they said it's like a real tzaddik. I mean, it was just a Talmud Chacham, like a real tzaddik. Hillel. Hillel kfar higia lakach. Mashikasav b'Sanhedrin Yud Aleph Amud Aleph. Shomer Alav, that they said when he died, Hayanav, Haychasid, Madrega Hana. Anav, Chasid, took care of it. Was so ironically, again, the whole thing is ironic, the whole concept, so we've got to wrap our brain around it. The whole godless of Hillel was that he was down to earth. The whole godless of Hillel was that he ate properly, slept properly, bathed properly. Everything was why this wasn't like he was into Gashmis. He took the Gashmis, which is Gvuli, and he made it Bli Gvul. Isarusa de Lusata. The Gam, listen to this parenthesis. Gam Hayim Zera Beis David Kenoida. Hillel was from Zera Beis David. The Shamati, whenever Rabbi Tzadok says Shamati, he means from the Isbitcher. Klal and all Rabbi Tzadok. For Shamati Bezek, Hizel Madregas Beis David Beyichud. That the Pshat and Beis David and Malchus Beis David is that I can take the Gashmias and I can turn it into, I can give it this neshama. I can make it ruchni. Isn't that Pashat, Pshat and Mashiach? The Pshat and Mashiach is that you're going to come to this world and La Shem Haaretz Loya, V'Hayashem Lamelech, Hakol Haaretz. That's the whole thing we're hoping for. And Mamela, La Yisa Goy, El Goy Cherev, La Yom Du'ay Milchama, all the different brachas of Mashiach is to take this world and permeate it with the Das Hashem. This is the whole thing. So everybody in Malchus Beis David, from David HaMelech, what did David HaMelech pray to do his whole life? Build a building. So we're not crazy. Right, Yoni? This is a building. What do you need a building? This is his whole dream, and a whole Agmas Nefesh. You can't build a building. Shalom HaMelech, you can build a building. What's Mashiach going to do? He's going to build a building. What's the building is representative of Kosher Hashchina Lamata. That's what it's all about. So this is specific to Beis David, and the Hillel was for Beis David. So was Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, Hillel, Gamliel, Shimon ben Gamliel, all those generations, and then Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. So this was all the same. So Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, on the one hand, lived luxuriously. The Gemara says that on my new diet, I ate a lot of radishes. So I think about this Gemara every single day. Like Hifsik Snoin, like he had radishes and he had the winter vegetables in the summer. It was a kavir. But at the same time, he said, I wasn't into anything. What does that mean? Nothing was for my goof. It was all a kesher of the Gashmias and the Ruchnias. Kamai Oineg, Shu Oisailam Bein Bnei Yisrael. What's Oneg? It's an ois. Ois Hillel Meyad Bein Oyu Vein. So how do you show, this is so beautiful in this pastures, how do you show that you have a kesher with Hashem? By keeping Shabbos. Oisi, like a diamond ring. Oisi, married. And how do you keep Shabbos? Not by keeping away from the Lamentes Malachas, also, but by Oineg Shabbos. That's what it says in the pasuk. Kol HaMizaneg is a Shabbos. The ois is that I'm having Oneg. You get married, you make a chasana. Oisi, ois oilam beinoyu vein b'nei Yisrael v'chol makom shnemer oilam ein loy hefsik. Pashu nachala b'li mitzarim. The whole time I'm asking myself, why doesn't he quote this pasuk? The answer is he does. Kedibra Ezel b'Shabbos Kufiyut Tes Amabei She'ein lo gvul. What is nachala b'loy mitzarim? You don't have the gvul of Gashmias. Behefsek. L'maynig HaShabbos ki misanig al Hashem kanal shudugmas karbonos. Hold on to these sheets because I want to finish the next side also before we go away from this Rabbi Tzadok. But it's the beautiful you said. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be here Sunday because Sunday I have two bris and Behar, and then after that, Rabbi Yaakov Sparrow. First time in my life. I'm zochah to be a sandik twice in one day. On a day that we don't say taflin anyway. I saw in Svarim, if you're a sandik, so you're Devorah&Rav. What's the big school of being a sandik? That you become like a mizbeach. Baby's the korban. And the moil is the kohen, the father. The moil is the kohen, and you're a din of a mizbeach. So, like, what's the union of being a mizbeach? Like, today I have a mizbeach. It's a tough meditation, no? I feel like I'm a mizbeach. I mean, I guess it's better to be a mizbeach than a korban. That's what I always think. I always think when I'm a tzaddik,
I'll play my role.
What's the nakuda? Because it means to say that you're zocha to be the place where Gashmias is becoming Ruchnias and Ruchnias is becoming Gashmias. So you're in a makam of bli gvul. you're makam obli gvul. So in other words, there is no gvul. All the normal natural boundaries that exist in life don't exist when you're bli gvul. So for the moment, you become a gather of Hillel, or according to my brachas. So Mela, there's a koach of tefillah of a sandik that you could specifically be mevarach people with a matzav of bli gvul, particularly the baby. In other words, you get okay, this is your gvul. You can't breathe. You should be able to breathe. You can't. You have no appetite. You have appetite. Everything that you have no parnasa. There's a koach of a mizbeach b'chlal to remove gvulim. So Yiratzu should be zochah to such a thing. It's just so Sunday is no share than Thursday bishul.
Those give the brachas after that.
Also, the
Up to
Eish,
the bris.
the Eish is not believable. The Eish on the Mizbeach is believable.
Eish b'chlal.